Voter registration was designed to prevent blacks from registering. Not only did you have to meet the residential requirements, you could not have been a convicted felon, you could not have lived in a common law marriage, you could not have fostered or given birth to an illegitimate child.
You had to pass a test on the Constitution, the math test, which was the most difficult one, where you had to calculate your age in terms of years, months, and days. And sometimes that was difficult, even for college graduates.
You had to borrow days from the previous month, which was a trick because most people say, well, if you can convert a month into days, you convert it to 30 days. No. You had to borrow the previous month. So, for example, if I'm going to register in February, I would borrow January, which has 31 days. If I was going to register in March, I had to borrow February, which had 28 days. And if you were one day off, you flunked.
And sometimes we found it impossible for people to go and register and get that all straight. So as community organizers, that's what I said it was. We would become babysitters. Because if I spoke to you about it and I tried to train you and you didn't have the confidence to go there, so on your birthday, you go on your birthday. So if they had something else going on during that day, we said, okay, you go. And they had kids, we said, we'll stay here and you go. So you can't get that wrong, right? I'm 41, no days, no months.
My grandmother, who was born during Reconstruction, she was 75 years old when she registered for the first time. So, I mean, she was ahead of a lot of people, but there were a lot of older people who wanted to register, who were not literate. And of course, if you were not literate, it was very difficult for you to register. Now, there were a lot of illiterate whites because one of the reasons why we have numbers on the ballots because there were a lot of illiterate whites who couldn't read, but at least they could read numbers. But it was very, very difficult and it was very frustrating because there were people who wanted to register, but we would take them down and we encouraged them, and sometimes they flunked twice, but they keep going.
Once I got involved in voter registration, I wanted to involve other people. So I basically used my family. You know, I taught them how to register to vote, and they went and registered to vote, and then they started teaching people how to register to vote.